A spiritual awakening can be very scary, it can be unpleasant, it can be frustrating because you are living your life like you've always lived it. And things begin to happen to you and you have no understanding of why you're going through these things, and it could be quite painful because what's happening is you're going through not only an ego death, but you're starting to realize who you are at the core, and you're noticing that what you thought in the past and things that you used to identify with no longer is something that you're able to just continuously do as you used to. Before we get into the video, if you are new to the channel or if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell so you do not miss any of this transformative content. Make sure you give this video a like and share with anybody who you think it may help, who may be going through a spiritual transformation as well. The first sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening and God is showing you that you have a bigger mission and a bigger purpose here on this earth. You become tired of being sick and tired. Maybe there's things that you've been wanting to change. Maybe you have certain habits that you've been indulging in and you've been doing for so long, but in the back of your mind you keep telling yourself, I'm going to stop, I'm going to change, and you keep brushing it off. Or maybe you're even trying to stop these things, but it's just extremely hard for you to change these habits because you've been doing them for so long. Or maybe there's certain people that you're interacting with and you're hanging with and you're spending time with, and you know that these aren't the best people for you. Well, when you go through a spiritual awakening, you're going to notice that those things is going to begin to fall very quickly. Like previously, it maybe was something that you were trying to force and you were trying very hard to actively change. Well, when you go through your spiritual awakening, it's going to be quite simple. It's going to be quite easy. You're going to wake up one day and you're going to, something's going to happen and you're going to say, it's just no more. You're going to be like, I can't do it anymore. And no longer will you be able to continue to do these things that no longer serves you. You're not going to be able to continuously live down that path and do those things. And something's going to shift in your life and you're going to be able to kind of feel free from those things, and you're going to focus more and do more things that you know is better for you than those things that has been holding you back for all this time. The second sign that you are going through a spiritual awakening and God has chosen you for a bigger and a higher purpose is you're going to be able to hear God more clearly. Do understand that God, the universe, source, whatever you go by, whatever name resonates with you, a higher power, that higher frequency, that energy, your higher self is always speaking to you and is always showing you signs and always doing things to get your attention. But the issue is a lot of times we can't hear exactly what it is that's trying to be communicated to us. The reason why we can't hear this is because majority of the time there's a lot of distractions going on. We have maybe a lot of people around us, or maybe it's the things that we're consuming that is bringing our frequency in our body and our mind and also our spirit to a lower vibration. And because of this, we aren't able to communicate with God in a way where we can understand what is trying to be communicated to us. But once you go through your spiritual awakening, you're going to notice that you're able to hear God's voice, and you're going to be able to understand what it is that God wants you to do and what's being communicated to you. Because for one, you're going to be more still, you're going to be more clear, and you're just going to be more aware of what's going on around you, and you're going to be able to hear those things now once you go through this awakening and your being is being activated to adjust and change and shift from the things that you've been doing thus far. The third sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening and that God has chosen you for a bigger purpose and a higher mission is you're going to notice that you'd rather be alone. Your spiritual awakening is a very spiritual journey. And when you're going through this, you're going to notice how sensitive and receptive you're going to be to energy. And certain energies you're not going to be able to entertain anymore. And because of that, you're going to want to spend more time with yourself so you can know exactly what energy it is that is around you and what energy that is yours, and not being tainted or brought in from outside sources. And you're going to also want to get quiet, because you're going to want to tap in. You're going to want to hear God's voice more. You're going to want to be more clear. And honestly, you're going to want to do things that majority of the people around you aren't going to be doing. And even though a part of you may still want to indulge and entertain those things, there's just going to be something inside of you that's just not going to be able to allow those things to take space in your life any longer. So you're going to find yourself wanting to be alone, wanting to focus on yourself, wanting to just do things that make you feel better, and you're going to want to get a better understanding of what's going on around you and how you can show up in a way that's more conducive to where you are on your journey and where you're trying to go. The fourth sign that you're going through a spiritual awakening and God has chosen you for a higher purpose and a higher mission, you're going to notice that your life may begin to fall apart. Things in your life that isn't good for you, that isn't serving you, is going to start to get moved around, because God is going to be making space and room for things that is best for you. Do understand that majority of our lives have been pre-planned between us and God. Our life is already destiny, what is here for us. And a lot of times we don't remember exactly what those things were that we agreed to, including our life's mission. And because of this, we forget exactly what we're supposed to be doing here. And from the time we were a child, as we grow up, there's just so many distractions and there's so much outside influence. But God knows exactly where you're supposed to be going and what is for you. And because of this, once you begin to go through your spiritual awakening, God is going to begin to move things around and adjust things so you can start to go on your path towards that future that has been predestined for you. And you're not going to understand why these things is happening to you. Honestly, it may be quite painful and it may be quite stressful, because you're going to think that these things are happening to you as a negative, because you're not able to see the positive that's going to come from it. And that's when your faith is going to have to kick in, and you're going to have to begin to trust that God is doing all of this for your greater purpose. You may have a job that you've been working for a really long time. You may have 401k, you may have a pension, you may have coworkers there. You may be very comfortable with that job. Well, that company may go out of business, or you may lose that position. And you may be thinking to yourself, wow, my life is over, things is crumbling, what am I going to do? It can be very stressful. But what you don't see or understand is God is making room for that business that you've been wanting to start for so long. Or God may be making room for you to go back to school, and a scholarship may be coming in for you to go study that career that you've been contemplating for so long. So these are the type of changes that may come with you losing your job. God just knows if you're not pushed, if this doesn't happen to you, to push you to get out of your comfort zone, that you're not going to make that decision. So God has to step in and make that decision for you. Another thing that may happen is you may be living in a house that you are very attached to. You may be in a neighborhood that you have been in for a long time. You know, that house may catch fire. It may be a very distressed situation. It may be very stressful. You may lose a lot of your things in that fire. And you may think in that moment that things could not be any worse. Well, God may be aligning you to move to a new area, or move to a new city, or a new state, or even a new country. Or you may be in a situation where you're going to get the house that you've been wanting for such a long time. You just didn't know how that house would ever be possible for you. Like, these are the type of things that can happen when God is shifting things around and aligning things in your life for your greatest purpose. Next sign that you are going through a spiritual awakening and God has chosen you for your higher mission, is you're going to start to study spiritual teachers and spiritual leaders. You're going to want to understand exactly what it is that you're going through, because we live in a very dense 3D reality, and majority of people are just here existing and walking around, and they're not speaking about this stuff. They're not speaking about the frequencies and the energies and who we really are at our core. A lot of us are just looking at life as we are these avatars that we're in while we're having this human experience on this earth, and it's very hard to understand and even harder to communicate to another person what's going on. And because of this, in order for you to stay sane in the 3D but also continue on your spiritual journey, is you're going to want to seek leaders, and you're going to want to seek information that's going to help you understand exactly what it is that you're going through and what's taking place in your life and inside of you, to kind of keep you sane and keep you grounded in reality while still going on your spiritual journey. Next sign that you were probably chosen for a spiritual awakening by God to finally activate your mission and your life's purpose is you're going to seek your life's purpose. Doing regular things is not going to be something that you're going to continue to want to do. Now, obviously, you're going to still want to have your hobbies. You're going to still want to eat. You're going to still want to sleep. You're going to still want to spend time with the people that you love and you care about. But just working a regular job, or working a 9 to 5, or just getting up and living an existence that's not serving you on a soul level is not going to be something that you're going to be able to continue to do. You're not going to be able to just, get up, just watch movies, go to the club, hang out, party. Like those type of things is not going to be something that you're going to continue to want to do. You're going to want to figure out, how can I serve this world? How can I serve this earth? How can I make my mark here? How can I raise the vibrations? How can I raise the energy? How can I help people and not continue to exist in a reality in a way that's not serving humanity? So you're going to start to question all of this, and you're going to start to think deeply about what exactly is it that you're supposed to be doing, and everything goes together. God is also going to bring you signs that's going to show you, and it's going to tell you exactly what you should be doing. It's just important for you to listen to what exactly God is trying to tell you in those moments. You're going to start seeking purpose, and you're going to start seeking your mission, that mission that you agreed with God before you incarnated here. The last sign that you were probably handpicked by God and live out your mission is things are going to begin to change in the physical world. Because so much is going on inside of you, things have to happen on the 5D before it shows on the 3D, and your frequency is raising, your vibration is raising. So because you're going through all of these changes internally, it's only right that eventually these changes start to show in your 3D reality. Now, it always happens after. Time is an illusion in the spiritual realm, so time doesn't matter in that way, but it does take time for it to adjust, and this is why it will be a delay in the 3D, because everything happens in the 5D first. So as your vibrations and your frequency start to raise and certain things begins to change inside of you, it's only right that that starts to show in your 3D eventually. You'll start attracting certain things, because you'll attract things that's on your same frequency and on your same vibration. Like whatever is in you is what's going to come out. And right now you may be on one level, or you may be on one frequency, and this is kind of what's happening here. But once things start to change and you start to clear up your space, you start to clear your mind, you start to clear your vessel, and you start to bring in this different information, you start looking at life differently, you start speaking to yourself differently, you start thinking differently, and you start to really tap into who you are at the core as a spiritual being. You're going to notice a shift in your world where things just naturally is going to have to change. So this is something that's going to happen as well when you're going through your spiritual awakening. Now, those are the 7 signs that you are going through a spiritual awakening, and God has handpicked you to live out your soul mission and your soul purpose on this earth. I hope you got a ton of value from this video, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Until the next